Guys, I'm Krystal Goodman. I'm an alumni of University of Tennessee from 2009. If you don't know much about me, I am a nutritionist and personal trainer. Hey guys, I'm Krystal Goodman, and I'm an alumni of the University of Tennessee from the year 2009. So I'm here to kind of share with you my journey from going to UT, graduating, and now what I do for work, and then also just some nutrition tips and tricks. So, like I said, I graduated in 2009 from UT with a degree in nutrition as my major, and then my minor was business management. So I did some different business classes like marketing, management, all those different things, along with my nutrition classes. I discovered I wanted to do nutrition after I took one nutrition class. I was going to be a nurse, so I took that nutrition class and absolutely loved it. And then decided that's what I really wanted to do. So I went through UT, graduated in 2009, and then went on to pursue my career. So I started actually personal training first at what was called The Rush, and then turned into Gold's Gym. And now I'm actually at Orange Theory Fitness, coaching classes there, and also personal training at Bullman's. I love it. And then I also just kept pursuing my nutrition. So now I actually counsel people one-on-one. I started a monthly subscription where you can sign up. I give you a meal plan that's individualized to you with recipes, grocery lists, different meal plans each month, so you're not getting bored with the same foods, and also accountability along the way. So each week I'll check in with you on your MyFitnessPal and kind of check out what you're eating and give you some different things that you might need to change or what you're doing good in, and give you encouragement that way so you're staying on track. So that's what I do on a daily basis now. I also worked at Blackberry Farm for a little bit, personal training there, doing nutrition there as well. So gained some experience from that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. While I'm going through all of this and kind of giving you some tips and tricks, please feel free to comment in the comment section and ask me any questions you might have. I'd be more than happy to answer those as well. So, like I said, my main focus is nutrition outside of my personal training. It's what I really love. So today I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks that are easy to do, easy to follow along with to make a big change in the long run. So the first one's going to seem really simple. It's hydration. So anybody out there think that they drink enough water? The answer is probably yes, or maybe no. I mean, it kind of depends on you and what you think is how much you should drink. My baseline for people, what I tell clients is you want to drink at least half of your body weight in ounces per day as your baseline. So, I always use 100 pounds as an example because it's easy to do the math. But so a 100-pound person wants to drink at least 50 ounces per day. But then on top of that, if they drink coffee or tea or fruit juice or alcohol, anything diuretic, that's 8 ounces of each of those, you want to drink back at least 12 ounces of water to each of those 8 ounces. So on top of your baseline, you're going to be adding those ounces on as well. So if your answer now is no, now maybe try to work on that. That would be the first step I would say for anyone to start their nutrition journey, just because hydration is very important, whether it's, obviously giving yourself water when you're thirsty, but also your skin, your hair, your nails. It's going to help with making them healthier. It's going to help with the times that we feel like we might be really hungry, but really we might just be dehydrated. So, drinking a little water first and kind of just thinking, am I really that hungry, after you drink the water? Maybe it was that I was just thirsty. So again, some easy ways to kind of track that is MyFitnessPal has that option in there that you can choose and put in your ounces. But also some people will tell me, hey, I'm at work, or even now when we're all at home, we're kind of not on a schedule. So we forget to drink the water. So an easy way is they've got apps out there now that you can download that tells you, every now and then, like, hey, drink some water. They've got water bottles out there that are marked and say, like, by 10 a.m., you should be drinking this much. By 4 p.m., it should be down to here. Or I've also told people you can simply just add alarms to your phone. And if it is when you're in the office, it can be just on vibrate, to where it vibrates you and tells you, like, hey, drink your, next 8 ounces. That way, you're getting all of your water in and you're not forgetting. Because another thing people tend to do is they drink all the water all at once. And then really what that's just going to do is you're just going to have to go to the bathroom. So you're really not going to get the benefit of it if you're drinking it all at once. You want to kind of keep it throughout the day to keep yourself hydrated. The second thing is really balancing your plate. As I'm saying, balance your plate. Everyone might have something different that comes to their mind of what a balanced plate should look like. my tips on a balanced plate is starting with a protein. A lot of times that is hard to do, especially on the go, or, even when we are kind of stuck at home right now. Again, it's one of those things where we feel like we have to prepare it. Maybe we're on phone calls or on the computer all day for work. So kind of think ahead and prepare your food. You can always prepare a bulk of chicken, beef, whatever your favorite kind of meat is. And that way you can use it throughout the week for different recipes. Some other good options are, Greek yogurts or protein powder. Like this morning after my workout, I made a smoothie and I put Vital Proteins protein powder in it. That's going to give me my protein source. So always try to choose a protein first. The biggest thing with protein, it's going to give you a boost to your metabolism. It's going to help you build lean muscle and really kind of help you feel fuller a little bit longer. Protein is very important for the body to grow muscle and to get stronger. The second thing on your plate is you want to try to focus on half of your plate being vegetables. That might be kind of hard for some people, especially in the morning for breakfast, but some good options there. Again, if I chose a smoothie to make, I can easily put spinach or kale within my smoothie. If I'm making an omelet, I can easily chop up some onion, some pepper, mushroom, and make an omelet from there. So usually for lunch and dinner, it's a little bit easier to get it in there. You can make a big salad. You can saute some vegetables. You can always roast them in the oven. One thing I like to make a lot is they're called sheet pan meals, where you take a sheet pan and you would just like spray it down with like oil, and you put any kind of protein you like, and you can cut up any veggies you might like, and then you just literally just roast it in the oven. So you just have the whole meal right there for you. So that's the second thing, is fill it half with vegetables. The third thing on your plate, try to focus on a healthy fat. So, if you're making your meat, you can always add an oil that you're cooking it with, or maybe even your veggies, you're adding an oil. Or, if we're having some type of a Mexican style dinner, we can add avocado, or even at breakfast, it could be egg on toast with avocado. So kind of think of it as adding on, a healthy fat source. It's going to help you be fuller longer once again. It's going to help you maintain your blood sugar. It's not going to go up and down, because fat does digest slowly and absorb slowly. So it's going to help you maintain that. The fourth thing on the plate is going to be your other carbohydrates. And the reason I call it other carbs is because vegetables technically are a carbohydrate when we look at their nutrition facts, but some have more carbs than others. So if you think of all your green veggies or your zucchini, your squash, things that are a little bit more bland in flavor and not really sweet, those are going to have less carbs. Whereas when we think about something like a sweet potato or butternut squash, or corn or carrots, things like that, they're going to have a little bit more carbohydrate in them. So that would be, something that would go in the carb section of your plate. So add those on. Always look for fiber to be in the carbohydrates, especially when you're choosing like breads and tortillas, some different things like that. So always look for it to have some fiber in there. A good tip I give people is when you're looking at a packaged food, look for every 10 carbs to have at least 1 gram of fiber. So if my package says 1 serving contains 30 carbs, I want to have at least 3 grams of fiber to cancel that out. So kind of always look at that when you're looking at the label. So that's what your balanced plate would be. I've got a question on the comment section. Someone asked, do you have tips for good snacks? So yes, some great snacks. Again, you want to incorporate the same thing that you're doing with your plate. You want to balance it in the same sense. A lot of times it is hard to get some veggies in those snacks, so that's okay if you can't. A good vegetable as snacks, again, is going to be something like a baby carrot, or, cut up peppers, celery, something that's kind of crunchy, easy to grab on the go, that you can always dip in hummus, or, a Greek style yogurt dip that you can make on your own with a little bit of dill or something. So it's kind of ranch based in a way, but you're still getting that protein. Celery with some nut butter on it is a great choice as well. Some other good snacks are just like nuts and seeds that you can grab on the go. There's a lot of bars out there that a lot of people might have questions about, because a lot of them contain a lot of stuff we just don't need. So again, kind of look at your label and see, like, is the ingredient list like this long, and do I know what these words mean? If you don't, probably it's more than likely a chemical, and it's probably not the best thing for us to eat. So always choose something that has whole food ingredients, that you know what the words are, what the foods are, and what they mean. Another great tip that I like to give people is, when you are looking at that list, look for something to be 5 ingredients or less. And less is something that's like a grain blend, and they've got in parentheses, the grain blend has quinoa, couscous, things like that. And there's a couple of them listed. Sure, that you might have 8 ingredients by that time, but you still know what they all mean. So it would still be a great option. So again, when it comes to the good snack tips, just really look for something to have some protein in there, some good fiber. Quest bars are another favorite of mine. They're not the cleanest as if you have made your own snack from Whole Foods, but they're still one of the cleaner bars that's going to have more fiber, more protein, less sugar. So again, just kind of look for those when you are choosing snacks. The next thing is finding a fiber. So I kind of went over it just a little bit already for you, but when you are looking at your carbohydrate sources, look to see, does it have fiber? One thing that confuses a lot of people is, this package says gluten-free, so it must be healthy, or it says it's organic, so I should probably eat it. It's probably healthy. I had a friend once say, hey, I go to Trader Joe's, I shop there all the time, so I can basically buy anything, right? Because it's Trader Joe's, it's healthy. Well, that's not always the right answer. You still want to look at the labels because, Trader Joe's does have great options. I love shopping there, but they may still have that key lime cheesecake or, the cookie butter that everybody raves about and loves. But again, it's going to have some sugar in there. So really look at your labels. Carbs are the one thing that we get a little too much of in general because it is easy to grab and go. So again, think about my tip that I said earlier. You want to get at least 1 gram of fiber for every 10 grams of carbs when you're looking at a label. That'll definitely help you get a whole grain, complex carbohydrate that's going to help you sustain your blood sugar all day. You're not going to get that up and down feeling. You're going to feel energy and feel good for the rest of your day. Another good tip I like to give people too is, when you are eating your carbs, try to keep them around the middle of the day or really your busiest time of day, because it's going to give your body a chance to burn those carbohydrates and those sugars as well. Because if I eat a ton of carbohydrates, then I go to sleep, I'm not moving around anymore. So now I'm not really going to be burning these sugars and these carbs off. So kind of think of it in that sense as well. And then the last tip that I have, and I'll still answer some of these questions. Let me see. We've got, how about tips for motivating kids to eat healthy foods? That's a great question. I get that one quite a bit. So some tips I've used when helping, moms and stuff with their kids is, make it a learning lesson with the food. So a couple of options there would be, if it's something green and they're like, ew, I don't want to eat this, it's green, kind of tell them like, hey, if you eat green foods, more than likely you're not going to be as sick as often. It's healthy for you. It's going to make you feel good, have energy. So kind of correlate it with the feeling of I'm healthy by eating these foods. If I eat a bunch of different colors, it's going to help me get more vitamins and minerals. I'll be able to run faster, play better, all these things. So kind of correlate it that way. Another good thing is let them help you make the recipes. Kids love to help. So, they love to help you fold laundry, or, they've got the little kid vacuums and stuff that they can help you vacuum. So same thing with cooking. You can get them a little apron and say, like, we're going to make this recipe today. Come help me. So more than likely, if they're helping with the process, they're going to want to try the food. Another good option you can do is, when it gets warmer out and everything, you can go to the berry picking patch and stuff, and you can always pick some of those blackberries and stuff and then go home and say, okay, well, we picked these berries, so now we're going to make a blackberry cobbler and make it a healthier version. And again, that's a good way for them to be involved and to help with the recipe, and more than likely they're going to want to try it. Let's see, we got some more here. There's so many dietary fads come and go. Any thoughts on fasting or cleansing? Great question again. So those are definitely two that are always in the news, and a lot of questions that I get asked all the time. The fasting, you have to be careful with. It's not for everybody. I do think intermittent fasting can help some. So kind of you can play around with it a little bit. I wouldn't go too long without eating, especially if you're someone that has that feeling of my blood sugar's dropped, I'm now shaky, I don't feel well. Kind of consult with your doctor as well and kind of see, or, you can always set up an appointment with me or some other nutritionist, whatever you would like. That way we can kind of see like how your body is and how it may react to those different things. Cleansing, that's one that's kind of a tough one as well. I don't necessarily agree with it too much. I feel like you can detox your body with just whole foods and eating the right foods in general. So I think some of those, again, fad kind of cleanses out there give you all these supplements to take and everything. And a lot of them are filled with just synthetic ingredients. And again, that's just going to do the reverse of what you want. It's going to, harm your body more than help it. And I think a lot of times that causes people to, oh, I've cleansed, I've lost X amount of weight. Well, now I can just go back to the same way I was eating. Well, it's not really the case. You want it to be a lifestyle change. So really think about how you can change your life and make it a healthy lifestyle that you can sustain for a long time and build off of. So the cleansing part, I wouldn't probably suggest it. Again, consult with someone first and kind of sit down and see what would be the best option for you. Then we've got, if you work out, how many meals should you eat? So great question. And I know Dolores, so hi, Dolores. That's a great question. So you should eat, depending on your body weight, your height, all those things. There's different calorie ranges for different people. And depending on if you're a woman or a man, a good example, I work at Orange Theory, so we have the heart rate monitors. You can see it up on the monitor, how many calories you burn for that workout. For women, we burn anywhere between about 500 to 700 calories within that 60-minute class, whereas a male might burn 700 to 1,000 calories. So big difference there. The male's probably going to need more food for the day because he's burned more calories. So you can always kind of track that with a MyFitnessPal app. An Apple Watch will show you, how many calories you burn for the day. I would definitely try to spread those calories out throughout the day. So how she's saying, how many meals should you eat? I would definitely spread it out, but you don't necessarily have to eat like every 2 hours, every 3 hours. I'll go off of how you're feeling. I always tell my clients, eat when you're hungry, but don't wait till you're starving. Because by the time you're starving, more than likely, we're probably taking way too many calories all at one time. And that's not going to really help us either. So kind of keep that in mind too. Let's see. Okay, those are all the questions there. If you have more questions, you can keep adding. The next tip that I'm going to give you all, the last one I've got here. So going back to talking about, the vegetables in our plate, another good tip is try to get at least 3 to 5 colors on your plate. So when you think about when you've sat down with your plate, how many colors do you normally see on there? Oftentimes we kind of stick to the same foods all the time, which again, broccoli is great for us. Chicken is too, and so is rice, but maybe we should switch it up here and there. And the main reason I say that is because not every vegetable and not every food is created equally. I've got chicken that's got these amino acids in it, but if I eat a little beef here and there, that's going to give me some different amino acids. Same with whey protein or cottage cheese or whatever different protein you're choosing. Same with vegetables. If you think about a beet is really bright red. When we cut it open, it kind of bleeds and stains your hands and stuff. So foods that are bright colors like that are going to contain tons of antioxidants, which are great for your body, for your immune system, for feeling energy. So it's all just great for us. So again, a beet, something like turmeric, you can sprinkle on your food. It's very brightly colored. It's something, again, that can dye your hand because it's got such a strong color to it. Or things that have a strong smell or taste. Think about garlic or onion. Both of those are great antioxidant options as well because they do have a very strong smell and taste. So again, going back to get 3 to 5 colors on your plate. You think about the different vegetables you could always add in to make the different colors. Think about a huge salad that you can cut up a bunch of different veggies. Preparing that sheet pan meal I was talking about earlier, you can always chop up things like peppers and onion, sweet potato. You can add asparagus, any of those different options that you might like. And I always encourage people to, eat with the season. If you go to our farmers market that we have here locally, or I love Three Rivers Market, which is right down the road from me. I call it basically an indoor farmers market because we've got a lot of the local produce in there that you can buy. So, with each season, we have different produce that comes available that may not be available in winter. It might be available in the summertime. So always kind of try to branch out and make different recipes with those new foods that you may not have tried before. Also, get creative with your recipes when you are making them, because again, that whole rice, broccoli, and chicken can get pretty old pretty quick. So a good thing I tell people to do as well is, if you sign up for my program, I always provide you with all these different recipes that are definitely delicious, and you don't feel like you're, I hate the word dieting, but you don't feel like you're actually having to change too much. But I encourage people, get on Pinterest even, and let's say you found nachos that you love. You can always type in like a healthier version of nachos, or maybe I take that recipe and I say, well, I've got this nacho recipe, but maybe I can get a healthier version of the chips. Or maybe I can get an extra protein I can add on there. So don't always think about it as taking away foods. Think about what you can add to your foods to make them healthier. So same with like smoothies. Again, you can always add anything in those because it's easy to make it taste good and not really taste those things that maybe some people don't love. Beets, for instance. I brought that up again, but I feel like people either love them or they hate them. They have definitely a strong taste. So maybe blend those up in your next smoothie and make it with chocolate protein, which is going to cover up that beet flavor. You know, kind of think outside of the box, like how can I get some of these nutrients from these foods that I may not really love the taste of? Or maybe, hey, can I find a recipe that is going to make it taste good? You know, beets can taste way different when they're raw and when they're roasted in the oven. They taste a little sweeter. So again, get creative with your meals. That's what I always encourage people to do. And especially right now, you know, we're all kind of stuck at home. So now we have the time to really focus on ourselves more and focus on your health. That's what I encourage everyone to do. So again, I'll just kind of go over the tips I gave. And then if anyone has any other questions, definitely put them in the comments here before we log off. And then also I can type in my email address if you want to email me afterwards with any questions. I don't mind to answer anything. But the tips again are: number one, hydration. Try to get at least half your body weight in ounces of water a day. The next one is balancing your plate. You know, balance it with the protein, half your vegetables, and then a fat, the other carbohydrates. Find some fiber with those. Again, find that fiber in your meals, at least 1 gram of fiber for every 10 grams of carbs. And then lastly, you know, the 3 to 5 colors on your plate. Think about how can I get these different colors on my plate? So I have another question over here in the comments. When choosing a protein powder, does it matter if it is whey or plant-based? Is one better than the other or just different? So great question. Again, another one that's asked all the time. When you choose a protein powder, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's whey or plant-based. It kind of depends on the person. So whey protein obviously may have a little lactose in it. There are some that they've taken the lactose out, so you can always check the labels for those. So someone that is vegan or lactose intolerant, they may not want to get the whey protein. They may want to try a different one. Plant-based proteins are great as well, again, for someone that might be vegan or lactose intolerant. I would say if you can handle both and your stomach can handle both, definitely go back and forth between them. Just like I said earlier about chicken and beef, the different amino acid profiles, same with your protein powders. They're not always created equally. So yeah, switch it up some. You know, you could have whey on one day and the next day maybe I'll try pea protein in my smoothie or the collagen protein, just so I know I'm getting all the different nutrients that my body really needs. So yeah, that answers that question there. And when you are choosing a protein powder, also be sure, again, look at the label and see what the ingredient list is, because again, those companies love to say on the front, great, pure protein, awesome option. And then you look at the ingredient list when you get home and you're like, what the heck's in this? You know, these are words that are like gibberish to me. So always check out the ingredient list for what they've put in there. You don't want any just random fillers. Really should just be, you know, protein. They may add a little stevia for sweetness or maybe a little natural flavor. Sometimes you don't know what those natural flavors are, but sometimes it's hard to find one that doesn't necessarily have that in there. So just kind of be on the lookout for the most clean versions that you can find as well. And shops like Eddie's Health Shop, we've got one downtown and over in the Bearden area. He's got a great staff that can help you find clean protein powders and bars and stuff. And then like Whole Foods has some. Again, Trader Joe's has a couple of different ones as well. So kind of use those to your advantage too. So thank you so much for coming to the live today. I had a great time. And again, if you have any other questions, I'll type it in the comment right now. But also my email is clean with a K. So KLEAN, itupnutrition@gmail.com. So you can always reach out. I'm just going to put it here in the comments. I don't know if that goes away when we get off, so I'll put it in there and like give you a chance to see it. You can always email me on there, and you can any questions you might have, or if you have more questions about my program, I'd be happy to answer any of those. My Instagram is also a great place to go to find different, I always do a Tuesday tip, giving you a nutrition tip each Tuesday, or it might even be a workout tip. So yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their Thursday, and everybody stay safe. Thank you.